messing with it. I think G gonna be upset. G gonna be like, what just happened? I was waiting, and then nothing happened. Everybody gonna be like, what happened? I don't know what happened either. Troubleshooting, I tell you, at its best. Read. Do it. I don't have my glasses on. Good evening. Is it evening? Is it late evening? Is that what they say? Evening? I'm not much of an evening person. That's smooth my glasses. Of course. Hey guys, I am 15 minutes late. You wanna know why I'm 15 minutes late? I got a good reason why I'm 15 minutes late. This guy right here didn't charge his phone. Phone was not charged. I mean, who is this guy? His phone was not charged. All you had to do is to keep his phone charged. That's all I had to do. Just get my phone charged. My phone wasn't in charge. It was like on 20%. It made a lot of progress in 10 minutes though. But it was not charged. So let's get started. So y'all don't have to watch me forever in a day. We got some stuff to talk about as always. We always got stuff to talk about. Man, the gym was killing me today. Oh my goodness. Bro, my brother was going crazy in the gym, bro. Like, and it only took 45 minutes. It only took 45 minutes. We do not be in there. We was done really about like in 43 minutes. It did not take that long. We were getting it. We had a good productive week. I finished off with a run. As I set this up, talk about U.S. colleges bullish on Google AI investment. I can't wait to talk about that. Disclaimer: the videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend the institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of Creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. And let me add that in there. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or any of the professionals that work in a higher ed institution. And I'm not disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Please get a financial advisor if you want to talk about financial education and financial discipline. So, let me read this. Y'all see my little book? Book and mouse, book and mouse. Sound like a song. Book and mouse, book and mouse. Yes. So yeah, that's why I'm 15 minutes late. Like charging the phone. I got here on time and everything, ready to go. Then I had some troubleshooting problems on the screen, trying to start it. It was like rotate. I was like, man, nothing want to go my way. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is U.S. colleges bullish on Google. Yes. Or on Google AI investment. So Google made an AI investment. I saw this like 2 days ago, and I should have added it, but I was waiting for a story. I seen the headline, and I was like, huh. So according to Chronicle Higher Education, where is it? It should have been the first one in here. Where is it? There you go. So, Chronicle Higher Education, shout out to them. It says Google pumps money into college AI. The search giant parent company Alphabet escalated the scramble to grab artificial intelligence market share on campuses. It said Wednesday I remember it like 2 days ago, Wednesday with a promise to deliver $1 billion worth of training and tools into U.S. colleges and nonprofits for over 3 years. Over 100 institutions are taking part so far, but the company wants to expand to cover every accredited nonprofit institution in the United States. Man. I remember watching people talk about artificial intelligence when I made the investment in that company, Palantir, and people were thinking, I'm not gonna lie, artificial intelligence was speculated. If I said it was more speculated, but the way I wanted to say it was more speculative. Speculative, is that what, can you say it like that? Speculative or speculative? It was more speculative. I feel like that's how you'll say it. Because I know you can say speculate, but it's speculative. That's a word. I put on 30. Engineering, producing.
Speculative.
Yeah, I like that.
Speculative.
Yeah. So it is a word. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure. So yeah, it was very much speculative, and a lot of people, like I said, they've been talking about artificial intelligence since like the 70s, if not definitely 80s and 90s. It's literally recordings on YouTube. When I was going through that process, man, I was standing up at like 3 or 4 in the morning. I was losing my mind because one thing, remember this, disclaimer, not a financial advisor, but one thing when you make an investment in something, you don't know how long it's going to take that investment to come around. You have to wait for the market to reward it. You can be 10 years early or 20 years early on the investment, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why I lose my mind sometimes, because I'm like, like I was trying to, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I was in college. I was trying to I wanted to have a little wealth early. I wanted to build something. So I wasn't getting impatient. I was just more like, man, if I put this here and it's a dud, because I made an investment like that before, and it was a dud, and it might kick in like what, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, but you can make so much, like, depend, unless it hit like with the company I'm in now, unless it do something like that, then it's worth it. But if it's not, you're wasting time and money and time. You can't get that back. So Google is taking this serious. Now we know Google is having some legal actions in their own, but that ain't what we're going to talk about. Google is saying like, look, man, 1 billion in AI training. This is Google alone. This doesn't factor in Amazon. This doesn't factor in like Elon. What's that company? Tesla. That doesn't factor in them like pouring money into institutions, because why? You're going to need people. You're going to need students who know how to work AI. You're going to need students who, that's why I said I'm considering taking an AI course or getting certified. I just don't know who's going to teach it the best right now. It's more like you can self-teach yourself, of course, but me, I just like to have at least want some form of training on that, so I know which way I'm going. So it's going to start being a lot of money poured into institutions. Now, what I hope to get out of this article, this is by, dang, I need to learn how to say their name. Reuters? I think that's how you say it. Reuters? How you say that? Let me see, because they're pretty. Their name comes up a lot in the higher education space a little bit. Reuters, and I think I see them a lot. I think I see them a lot on my when I be reading investments too. I think they pop up a lot too. But yeah, I'm trying to pronounce that. Oh, I'm pretty sure I was way off when I said Reuters. I'm pretty sure it's like Reuters. Oh, Reuters. Okay. Reuters. I was off a little bit. So Reuters is that's who posted this, and hopefully in this Reuters article or blog article, whichever one they labeled it as, hopefully, I think this is the article. Yeah, it's by Kendrick Kai, published on August 6th, 2025. Hopefully we found out what institutions are taking it serious. I think I just seen a college move. There we go. Hopefully we see what institution. So, all right, we got something right here. So it says right here, Reuters. Got that down pat. Reuters. So we already said that part. 1 billion though. I still gotta say that. 1 billion. Man, you better go to college. If you didn't want to go to college, this is the time to go to college. Because man, they not playing. All right, let me refresh the page because they're doing crazy stuff. And I do have a lot of tabs open, guys. So, guys, guess what? I'm going to put it in the description. It's going to be part of the mandatory description. I got all the informational things in the YouTube description. So, guys, they brought back the College Navigator. The College Navigator, I can't wait to upgrade the studio. I can't wait. It's not even major upgrades like I need it. It's more like we do need it. We do need it because I want you to see what I'm looking at when I'm going and doing stuff. I feel like there's more engagement, keeps you entertained. Because looking at me and I'm like this, and you like, what is he doing? You know, so like, can't wait for that. I think I had a comment. Is it my number one? G, G. I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry. G, I've been good. Just came from the gym. Me and my brother had a great workout, and I'm sore. I'm like sore. He was like, walk straight. I'm like, bro, like, I'm sore, bro. I'm sore. Like, I ran like almost 2 miles on. I was with him. I ran almost 2 miles on Wednesday or Thursday. I was like, bro, sore. Then we did legs that same day. So, yeah, I'm not tired. I'm just more like, let's go. Still got energy. Gym gives me energy. And then at any moment, though, it wears off. And then I get so tired. It wears off. It's like crazy. So I've been good, though, G. How you been? You been closing them deals, cashing them checks, making things happen? I know you have been. That's good to hear. Be like that sometimes. Yeah, you heard what I said though. I want to hear that next comment. You been cashing them checks, closing deals, making things happen at the job, at your company. I said your job, your company. I'm gonna wait for G to say that, y'all, because I like to appreciate my people in the chat. I like to appreciate them. I like to hear how everything going on with them. Cause me, personally, all right, G said, I'm good. Thanks for asking. I make things happen. That's for sure, LOL. That's what I'm talking about, G. Good spirits. G over here rocking out. I'm rocking out, man. Ain't nothing. All we can do is just what, G? It's only one way to go. Just like the stock market. And that's up. It's just one way to go. And that's what we doing. So, I appreciate that, G. I really do. More than 100 universities have signed on to the initiative so far. Wow. So some of the nation's largest public university systems, always the universities. That's one thing. Guys, this is the time if you're at a 2-year college to be a transient student. And if you don't know what a transient student is, being a transient student, it allows you to go to multiple schools at the same time. So I could be at my 2-year and then I can already be taking classes at my 4-year. Right? That's dope, right? That's a transient student. And so you can already like be admitted but the only thing about being a transient student, you have to be passing or be in good standards at your home institution. Common sense, right? They're not going to let you go to somebody else's institution if you're not passing at your own institution. They're not going to let you do that. So that's being a transient student. That can save you time and money. One of the perks I did use a lot, because when a class wasn't offered for a semester, sometimes the whole school year, I would take classes at another 2-year college. I didn't take at a university because I just didn't do that. I didn't have to. I was more like, once again, trying to save money. So I know I took it like, I forgot what the school name was. I took an accounting class. It was like payroll accounting. I took that at one of them 2-year college. I got a C. That class was hard. I got a C. And then I got a C. And so I was just trying to make sure I wasn't paying a lot of money for an accounting class, because I knew I was going to have to take another accounting class when I was going to get my bachelor's. I tell you guys, I took like 4 or 5 of them. And so G said, I appreciate the comments. We already getting the work. That's what I love. G said, Columbia has something similar where you can take certain classes at certain schools and other institutions. Yeah, it's definitely a everybody thing. Everybody can do it. I'm glad Ivy League has it. I'm glad Columbia has it, because I wasn't sure if they had it. I know it's like different ball games out there, so I'm glad to know that you can do that out there. Appreciate that, G. I'm glad to know that, because sometimes you can go on the internet, but like I said, things change all the time in this career field. Things change like news. So like if we catch wind of something or a deal or articulation agreement, pathway agreement, that's why we talk about it, because things change all the time. Like the recent one beautiful bill, that's gonna change a lot of things. 2026 fall come. Already looking forward to that. And so G said, well, that's just when they offer a class that Columbia didn't, and vice versa. Dope. So more than 100 universities have signed the initiative so far. Here is some of the names: Texas A&M and the University of North Carolina. So participating schools may receive cash funding and resources such as cloud computing credits. This is in your area, G. Cloud computing credits towards AI training for students as well as research on AI related topics. The $1 billion figure also includes the value of paid AI tools, such as an advanced version of Gemini chatbot, which Google will give to college students for free. Wowza. Google hopes to, I think they said that. I think I'm late. I think my girl told me that we can use the Gemini chatbot for free. Trying to make me, I don't know. Nah, I've been using ChatGPT. Don't try to make me go to Gemini. Somebody actually in the military they use Gemini. I was like, I had to give it a try. But and G said Google has had a chokehold on education for a while now. Yeah, it's a great investment because they looking out. They giving Google be trying to help us get the lowest cost. To me, and I want your opinion, G. ChatGPT 5 is available for free users now as well. Yeah, I just seen that when I was working in it, doing some. Cause one thing I do, disclaimer, when I'm researching companies, like I'm pretty sure anybody, I hope everybody do this. G, let me know if you do this. When I'm researching companies, disclaimer, not financial advisor. I said it every time before I talk, because people like G said they just gonna clip me out and then show it in court. So I gotta say every time before I talk. Once again, disclaimer, not financial advisor. And I definitely when I'm trying to understand a company and what they do when investing, I definitely use ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives me real life examples. They even help me with the business models. They help me with a lot of things that saves me abundance of time. Getting a head start. Getting a head start. I already know I'm like a years ahead right now before people start doing it. Then they're gonna start putting regulations on it. Then I ain't gonna be able to do it no more. I already know it's coming. So G said only thing about ChatGPT is that they can't delete your data until their lawsuit is over. Dang. ChatGPT in a lawsuit right now? ChatGPT getting sued right now on G? And then YG typed that so right here it says Google hopes to expand the program to every accredited nonprofit college in the United States. See, Google is smart. Google said we're not doing this to no for-profit school. We're not giving this $1 billion to a for-profit school. They said nonprofit, and I believe they said, accredited. I know they said accredited. They're doing it to every accredited nonprofit school, guys. That is very key right there. Google know what they're doing. Or they got somebody who work in education and know about that. It has to be an accredited nonprofit because they know for-profit ain't worth 2 quarters, and they have to be accredited because they can be doing anything they want if they're not accredited. Once again. And then G said only sometimes because I am actually still quite a bit better than I'm a quite bit better than AI in researching, believe it or not. Oh no, I believe it. I believe it. For copyright or something. Yeah, for copyright. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, I believe you're better than ChatGPT at researching G. I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it. I feel like I'm better than it too. Cause when I do, like when I do words, I don't know. If I don't know something, or it's something like I'm in a whole nother industry, for example, like why does it keep? They need to fix that. I don't know if that's my computer doing it. I don't know if it's their website doing it. They need to fix that. If I'm in a whole nother industry, like trying to figure out, I don't know, chips, semiconductors, or something, for example, yeah, I'm for one, I'm going to my school library. Then for two, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT some questions and see if they put it in simple terms. So I don't doubt it. Let's keep going. The announcement comes as rivals like OpenAI and Anthropic. I hope I said it right. Anthropic. I know you probably heard of this, G. I heard of them too, but I guess they're not. No, it don't. Oh. Let me close some of these tabs out. I mean, I got a lot of tabs open. Well, that's only because ChatGPT and Gemini and other chatbots use filters that leaves out some things. Appreciate that. I'm glad to know that. That company right there, they said that is a nice looking crown. I want a crown like that. That's nice. It says announcement comes as rivals like OpenAI and Anthropic, if I said that right, and Amazon have made similar pushes around AI in education. I did not know that. I did not know that. Around AI and education as the technology pervades society. Microsoft in July pledged $4 billion to bolster AI in education globally. Because guys, if you don't know, I'm pretty sure some people know. Yeah, I have heard of them. You didn't say it right, and that's okay. I appreciate that, G. And it's interesting because we're in an AI race, essentially, guys. That's the narrative that's been going around. We're in an AI race. If we want to beat our adversaries, I remember when they were a top in the industry. That's crazy. Now they like big dogs. And so it's first and foremost, it's here. But we're like in an AI race. I don't know if anybody follows the news, Trump, or even when Biden, just news. They were like, when China made the speech about we're going to be the leaders and blah blah blah, whatever they said. You know me, I ain't stunned what they doing over there. They do a lot of talking, but they ain't did nothing. That's how I feel about them. You know what I'm saying? If it's us against them, that's just how I feel with China. I'm like, bro, look, y'all do a lot of talking, bro, but it's whatever. Like, and they can play this video if they ever want to come to me and find a way to me. I know they probably trying to spy on me somehow, so that's how I feel about them. But by evangelizing, I think I said it right. By evangelizing their products. So G, don't know if I'm butchering that word because I might be messing up that whole sentence. I remember when they were taught. I said that real quick. All right. So by evangelizing their products to students, tech firms further standing to win business deals once those users enter the workforce. Exactly. So they're looking to hire you. Like, that's a new trend, guys. If you need a job that's going to pay really good, they can back it up a bit now. They had the industry sweating in January. Hey, G. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that, G. Hey, don't do that, G. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, we don't play over here. We don't play over here. We don't play over here. They ain't have us sweating. They did not have us sweating. G said they had us sweating back in January. And so, but I put that sentence in there so you'll see it. By evangelizing their products to students. Yeah, I read that. I'm gonna read it again. A growing body of research has mapped concerns around AI role in education, from enabling cheating to enrolling critical thinking, prompting some schools to consider bans. Some schools are considering bans. Like, I know my girl, her class was like, they told her to use ChatGPT or AI, but it was weird. Like, if she used it, she has to explain why she used it. So I guess they're trying to build their studies up. Because when we do schoolwork, and of course, when you do schoolwork in the schoolhouse, guys, in college, they're using your work essentially for studies or, to advance things and see your different perspectives. That work is stored. Don't think that work. I hope that work is not getting thrown away. Shoot, I'd be upset if my work got thrown away. I would be highly upset. I'd be highly upset if my work got thrown away. So cheating has been a big thing. Some people probably did get away with cheating their last semester of college, doing nothing but ChatGPT, AI. But guys, I don't really recommend you to cheat and use AI. Like, because when you get in your industry, you get in your job, especially depending on your job, it's gonna show. It is gonna show. So, G said, I kid you not, the industry went crazy, LOL, in January. Google made the game of getting students hooked early. Chromebooks, right? warranted Apple and Microsoft were first. Who doesn't cheat? Let's not lie. Before AI, LOL. Who doesn't cheat? Because I don't want my degree revoked. I don't cheat. I just use very reliable sources to help me understand certain topics when my instructor doesn't present them to me well. Hmm. 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 You know, them dark days when you want to just, you know. But it's hard for me to cheat in my It's hard to cheat in my major. Oh yeah, Henry absolutely doesn't cheat. It's hard for me to cheat though because I write nothing but papers. That's hard. At all, he is the most honest student I know. One of, one of. But it's hard to cheat in my major though, because we write nothing but papers. Everything we do is in writing. All I do is write. Like all I do is write. That's all I do. So it's kind of hard to cheat in writing. Me personally, I feel like you'll waste more time trying to cheat in writing than just writing and just getting it over with. Cause like for disclaimer purposes, right? Wink, wink. Jesus crazy. So yeah. Um, let's keep going. Oh man, that's it. Gee, that's it. That's it. That's pretty much it. About them donating the $1 billion. Oh wow, I thought it was gonna be more. I need your job, Kendrick Kai. Or him and Kendrick. It's Kenrick. Kenrick. It sounds like Henrik, but it's Kenrick Kai. I need yours. I need your little job. That was a short write. That was real short. Did he even write this? Did he chat GPT this? Now you got me wondering. The future of journalism. Did you write this? So guys, that's pretty much it with that. Not now with AI. There were people getting false flags for AI usage. Yo. Did you hear that AI is putting Chegg out of business? More than likely, a lot of journalists use ChatGPT to keep up with the trends. That's smart. That's smart. And G, did you hear about Chegg is going out of business? Like their stock is doing terrible. Disclaimer, not financial advisor. But I think Chegg is going bankrupt. I heard. Let me look it up on Google. I think Chegg, cause I was like, what happened? They was like, yeah, they was like chat, not chat, but they was like AI is putting them out of business. Let me see. I remember one of my people was talking about it because we all in school. Yeah, some people like they've been talking about it on Reddit. Yeah, it's been speculative though. It's like Chegg is on his last legs after ChatGPT sent his stock down. Da da da. So, hey, oh, Chegg to lay off 22% of his workforce. Hey, Chegg wasn't paying attention to AI. You gotta be innovative. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. Hey, anybody can be replaced. Chegg has to pivot to win. They do, because they definitely wasn't prepared. They late to the AI party. The AI party, as my man Dan I say, the AI party is just getting started. It's like early 90s. The AI party is just getting started. They had it locked for years. They did. Everybody was on Chegg. Everybody was on Chegg doing that schoolwork. Everybody. So that's pretty much it though, guys. Colleges are bullish on AI. So guys, I'll say keep your eyes open. I don't know what schools are taking it serious. I don't know. G, what's your recommendation, G? Who you would consider to be higher education AI leaders right now? If you had to get some schools together, who you feel like would be a good place to like get a certification in AI? Would you say you just need to be self-taught? Would you say just go to Google and get a certification, or would you go to a college schoolhouse? Gee, what's your stance on it? Because I'm debating and I'm trying to figure out how. I know I'm gonna get a certification. I just don't know where I'm gonna get the certification in AI from. So I want your perspective on that, G. as we go to the next topic. So the next topic is, don't be upset when you don't get admitted, or when you don't be upset you wasn't admitted. G said, so guys, if you're considering getting an AI, getting some training in it, getting some education of some sort, to stay relevant in the job market, because I can see it now that I really have a feeling that my job would be like, look, you take some AI, we'll pay you some more money because they're gonna be wanting me to use AI and be savvy, and I'm pretty savvy compared to when I stand next to people in AI. I'm pretty savvy, not deep analysis type, but savvy, and so G said get a certification from a company, but multiple for different tools. Get a certification from, is a comment there. Get a certification from a company, but multiple for different tools. Okay. I wouldn't get it from a school because it's kind of a money grab thing to me anyway. Okay. So we got some perspective on that. I like that perspective, G. I figured, yeah, okay. That's what I thought about doing too, like getting it from a job, let them pay for it, get training through them, and just keep adding on to it. I like that. Okay, I appreciate that. I like that. So, don't be upset you wasn't admitted. Why did I call that headline that? Why am I talking about that? Because guys, there's been a lot going on with admissions lately for some reason. Admissions. And if you are a college student, parent, or guardian, you should know admissions. You shouldn't just be applying to the school and saying, I don't need to know anything or a little, because you need to know admissions. But I'm not going to go down and give you the basic terminology of admissions. I'm just about to tell you what's going on with admissions. Chronicle Higher Education has a whole spiel about admissions. A lot of changes are happening in admissions. Like, they used to care about your story, but now they really just care about more your merit-based achievements. Like, did you do extracurricular activities? Were you the best at this? Do you have the highest test scores? That's how admissions has been set up. And if it's not like that at your school's about to get in trouble by the federal government, which is the Department of Education. They're giving me mixed reviews though. How is the Department of Education trying to crack down on schools like this, but they're trying to throw away the Department of Education? They need to pick what they want to do. They're confusing me now. Like, if you're going to toss it, I know they can't do that because they have to go through Congress, but at the same time, like, either you're going to do nothing or you can't. Like, it's like they're halfway working, then they're like, oh no, we're going to toss it. Like, pick one. You either going to do nothing or do something. So, because they adding people as if they about to do something. They have a goal. They just like to put up a veil. What's a veil? Gee, you and these words. I'm not mad, but it's making me Google it. Veil. I think it's veil. I'm running with veil.
Veil.
Yeah, let's go. Veil means covering or cover. Okay, they just like, okay, I'll cover. Okay. So G said, before we get into that, G's still talking about the AI and stuff, guys. G said companies. Did you say something before that? Yeah. G said companies tend to look for people who know specific tools. Like at the time it was Salesforce or Azure, Azure, Azure. I believe it's Azure and stuff like that. Yeah, that is true. Because at my job coming up now, or jobs in the past, like, that was my skill. To be honest with you, that is my skill, G. I'm very good with CRMs. That's a skill of mine. I will say that now. I understand that a lot of people don't know how to work CRMs. People with PhDs, everything. I literally went. That's what I went to school for in undergraduate. A lot of times, I don't know how we did it. Don't ask me. And I learned it on the job a lot of times too. And then G said just cloud stuff was in for a while. Now it's AI. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do certifications then, because that's my shift then. That's gonna be my pivot skill. Cause a lot of times that's what saved me at jobs. Like, they'll just make me I was just the person over CRM. I use platforms. Tell me if you heard of any of these, G. I use one called Ideologic. I was getting real good at that. Like really good. I was getting so good I was helping other people in other departments with it. Like they were coming to me before they go to IT. I was like, guys, this is not part of my workload. And so Ideologic, Blackbot, I'm about to be using one called Banner. I think it's called Banner. I think everybody heard of Banner. I used Banner before, but it's not hard. What's another one I use? I feel like something else. Right now, that's all I can think of. But G said, yeah, I heard of them. Columbia had kind of their own when I was working there. Okay. So yeah, I'm like very good with CRMs. That's like that's my bread and butter right there. And so they saying right here, it's funny you use the word grab. They Chronicle Education called it the admissions data grab. So top of the line, the Trump administration is trying to force colleges to prove they are looking at race. Once again, the Trump administration is trying to force colleges to prove they not are not. Trump administration is trying to force colleges to prove they are not looking at race when they decide who to admit. Oh, he's trying to force them to prove. Yeah, I read it wrong. As always, I read it wrong. I was trying to read too fast. But so I read it wrong just a little. Hold on, right quick. It's right here. I had read it wrong, so I feel bad. I need to put it in the group. I need to put it in live chat so you make sure, so you ain't confused. I read it wrong. But the Trump administration is trying to force colleges to prove they are not looking at race when they decide who to admit. So, in that way, when they say that, like, force colleges to prove they are not, like, how do you prove that? Like, the data, like, what, they admitted this many type of students, like this demographic, Gee, help me out. Like I said, I didn't work in admissions, but I can see how they would admit somebody based on their race, but I'm trying to figure out, how do you prove that? I guess look at the percentage of students that was admitted based on demographic. That's the only way I can think. That's the only way I see it. G, let me get your perspective. That's the only way I see it. And while G give us that, G said they will interpret like they used to. Like if you black, they just assume DEI. Okay, I thought so. So yeah, they could be looking at the race. Okay, literally just looking at the race. And sometimes I overthink things, as you can see, because I'm like, how are you gonna prove that unless you just strictly looking at the data? Like they admitted this percentage of students, because they definitely got that. They admitted this percentage. They admitted this percentage of students. They admitted this percentage. Ooh, school's gonna be in trouble. Trying to force them, and the way they wrote that, I think they wrote that wrong. Force colleges to prove they are not. They want you to prove that you ain't. We talked about it a while ago after Bollinger. They could use it. So colleges will have to send the federal government sensitive. Once again, colleges will have to send the federal government. I don't know why they say colleges. It's more universities. Trump and them are not picking on two-year colleges. They're definitely picking on universities. Colleges will have to send the federal government sensitive. However, they couldn't have quotas, which makes sense. Colleges will have to send the federal government sensitive details about race and admissions under an overhaul to data reporting requirements President Trump ordered on Thursday. So he ordered this on Thursday. It's an overhaul. I'm gonna click on this and see. Whoa! This is on the WhiteHouse.gov. So I'm gonna share this with you, G. This is on the WhiteHouse.gov. This is serious. They're serious. I thought it was gonna be some opinionated crap. So G said they just want to underscore their assumptions. So I sent you that, G. That's to the WhiteHouse.gov. That's what I'm about to be looking at right now. Of course, I would show you guys. Of course, I would show you and appease his folks. Exactly. I would have showed you. You know, I can't wait to upgrade the screen. So yeah, he did order this on August 7th, 2025. That's my little cousin's birthday. Shout out to him. I remember when he was in diapers. So President Donald J. Trump, ensures transparency in higher education admissions. So this is what I was talking about, guys. If you don't get admitted, now you finna know why. So today, President Donald Trump signed a presidential memorandum directing the Secretary of Education to require higher education institutions receiving federal financial assistance to be transparent regarding their admission practices. That's my order. That's my older cousin's birthday, LOL. Man, G, you might be one of them people across the world. You know, they was like, you know how they say you always know somebody that y'all just got a lot of stuff in common. Y'all don't even know each other. Hey, it might be that. It's crazy. That's crazy. Tell them I said happy birthday. Cause they just had a birthday yesterday. Tell them tell them I said happy birthday. Just like that. I was trying to get it out. Like, say it just like that. They're gonna be laughing. It was like that's how he said it. He was trying to get it out. He couldn't get it out. So yeah. So the memorandum, I did not know about this. See, this is why I love this. I have a whole spiel about why it should be considered, but different combo for another day. You got everything? Kinda. Huh. The memorandum directs the Secretary of Education to revamp the the online presentation and data collection of the integrated post-secondary education data system, which is known as iPads. So iPads is where if I want to get data, guys, like anything on enrollment, graduations, retention rates, that's where I go. And I was looking at that today. I didn't talk about it or I didn't use it because I want y'all to see it. You know, I really don't want to be using like heavy data and you can't put your eyes on it. I want you to see what I'm looking at. And so G said he drives trucks, so he was working on his birthday. Yeah, he be safe on that road. My dad was a truck driver too. He need to be safe on that road. Tell him he already know this, but drive for other people. And then G said before that, LOL, he will laugh at the mere fact someone on the internet told him happy birthday, LOL. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm telling him happy birthday. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Where is it? And so, yeah. So iPads is where I go and get information, like data. And it says to make it efficient, easily accessible, and intellectually presented for parents and students. So, sounds like they're going to make it easier to look at iPads. That's why I brought it up because I remember you said your dad did. Hey, good memory. Good memory. Good memory, G. And so I wonder how many parents look at iPads. I know some do. Like parents who really care about their, like I said, their child's education. They really look at iPads. Some look at iPads, but I wonder how do a lot of them. Because I know, like I said, I know I wasn't looking at the details of college or going to school, and I know my parents wasn't. So, you looked at iPads before?
I remember
iPads.
I don't know.
Yeah. See, it's very common. I'm surprised some people know about it. And so the memorandum instructs the Secretary of Education to expand the scope of required reporting for institutions' admissions data in order to provide adequate transparency as determined by the Secretary of Education. So they saying the data inaccurate. They said the data is inaccurate. Had no clue about it until college. Oh, G talking about. Oh, G. Okay, G said didn't know. Oh, you talking about that? You talking about the iPads? Had no clue about it until college. Yeah, me too. So hopefully that's something. Well, G, we'll be the first to be pushing it out. It's definitely gonna be in my description. It's definitely gonna be added after this live stream for sure. Cause that's where you can find. That's where you can find the College Navigator, and the College Navigator it's lovely. It looked like they did some updates on there a lot. Because the College Navigator, it looks a little outdated still, but it looks a lot better. I will say that. It looks better. I don't know if it's going to run better, but it looks better. And the College Navigator shows you everything, like what degrees they offer. It's like everything It's like everything in one, and it's government official. So I like that a lot. And I can't wait to show y'all that too when I'm, got my screens up. So and then, so right here, ending discriminatory race-based admissions. President Trump is ending discriminatory practices that are illegal, script opportunities and scholarships from hardworking students, and waste taxpayer dollars. So never use the College Navigator either. Yeah, they have that. It's pretty. I think it'd be pretty helpful for. I feel like it'd be pretty helpful for a parent or guardian who is trying to figure out, like, they still should check the actual school website, school prices, but I feel like it'll make it a lot easier to see like everything in that one place. And it's official. It's .gov also. But Trump is saying he's ending discrimination race-based admissions though. And he's saying that script opportunities and scholarships from hardworking students. And then right here again, the assumption is that students from certain backgrounds are getting a leg up. That's what it seems like. And oh my goodness, that is a Jubilee debate right there. That is a Jubilee debate. That's a conversation you have to put at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning to talk about, or taking spots from other students. Like, in a way. But then again, when that simply isn't how it works. Of course, it's not how it works at all. But that's why like I said, back in 2021, when was this? They had passed when they took affirmative action out of admissions. I think they took it out of admissions. I know they took it away out of higher education, affirmative action. I think it was in admissions. That was the first step. This right here he's doing, this is just icing on the cake. They are playing on people's ignorance. Yeah. We talked a little bit about it, G. We didn't talk deep into it. We talked a little bit about it. And so, and we can talk about it because the way I see it is that I'm a person, I know it's another way when it's not a way. Like, knocking all this down, but it's like, it gets tricky though, because when you want to go to a big school like the Ivies or a school that's like, top notch, or any school, you want to get in first. If you want to get into a particular school out of high school, you like Henry, I don't want to go to a 2-year, and I'm trying to go to a university, and they got like a 10% acceptance rate, and then you didn't get in because of how they did admissions, like if they were doing the race based and stuff like that, you didn't get in. Or now it's going to be more like merit based now. It's going to be more who is the best. But my thing about that is that when you say it's the best, it's not going to be fair. Because when I was working at my job at Georgia Tech, man, I see kids now, for example, paying, like, their parents can pay like, what was that price? Like $500 a pop, I think. I'm gonna just say $500 a pop. It was like $500 a pop to do a program that I used to do at my job in the summer. And these kids get access to, like, robotic things. They get to do like stuff that they wouldn't do at regular school. They get to do this in the summer. And so these parents are paying like $500 a pop, like $1,000. They're paying, man, one parent or family, they pay like $2,500. Like, you see, like, and then they use this and they say, hey, can I get a documentation, or like they're trying to complete a certificate so that they can use it for later when their kid is about to do, like, admissions, stuff like this. Everything. That's why I say documentation and education is so important, because when your kid is doing all these activities, most of the time in our culture, most of the time we just do the activity, but we don't have no record or no documentation of it, when really you can use it as later. Like a smart family, like, let's think about it. If you're trying to get into a college, and I see G typing, if you're trying to get into a college and you had your kid, like, some kids are fortunate in, underrepresented backgrounds to play on AAU teams. that kid, if their parent knew better, you know, like some parents do, some don't. We just gonna assume their parent didn't know better. If their parent knew better, they can document and say, yeah, my kid was elected or selected to play on the AAU basketball. You know me, I'm gonna use basketball. My kid was elected to do AAU basketball. They were recruited because they demonstrated teamwork, collaboration. Not that they scored all the points, but they demonstrated teamwork, collaboration, and all these other things, which led them to being the top 5 national team in the world. Because what that exemplifies that your kid was on a team that wins. So your kid knows how to win. So your kid can bring what? This is just an example. Your kid can bring winning to our institution because it carries over in the academic work. Then they're going to look at it. Oh, they're passing all their classes. They balance school and playing sports in the summer, and then turning around going to school in the regular time. And you know they factor in all these things. So yeah, you're a better student. Like that's how I would look at it. I never worked in admissions, but I'm pretty sure like you have to think they're reading this from a paper or a computer screen. They're not reading it as if they know you. Now, that's another part too that I had to talk about. If you know somebody in the schoolhouse that's in charge of that, your kid can get into school. I don't care what nobody say. That's worse than insider trading right there. Now that's worse than insider trading. And I ain't gonna get into that. So G said some stuff while we was talking. So I'm gonna give G the spotlight, as I always do. G said, let me make sure I start at the right place. So I'm gonna start from here. G said they are playing on people's ignorance. I read that before, but I'm just gonna keep going. Like many Americans from certain backgrounds, they think people don't go through. They think people don't go through stuff because their particular circumstances. Right. And then G said it's always been merit based, especially at the schools he's targeting, the highly elite universities. That's part of the reason why they use a holistic approach. To see what else other than academics do you bring to the university, and your background is a part of who you are and therefore what you bring. Exactly. G said that's why I kind of agreed with Lee's argument for it. Lee Boilinger, right? That's what you talking about. Let's make sure I'm on track. You talking about your the old Columbia president, right? Lee Boilinger, that's his name, right? And then G also said, and I hate to have to say it, not all people of color are accepted to do sports. Exactly. They're not. Or DEI. Hold on, let me read it again. You said, and I hate to have to say it, not all people of color are accepted to do sports or DEI. When you say accepted to do DEI, what you mean, G? Break that down to me. When you said they're not accepted, you said not all people of color are accepted to do DEI. Explain that to me a little bit. I want to go a little deeper on that. And then G said, unpopular opinion, I don't think legacy is as bad as people like to make it. I think you right, it's an unpopular opinion. Don't be putting that in there to filter your answer. You know it's unpopular. I don't like legacy. Just because you a legacy don't mean you get guaranteed admissions. I don't like it. Your kids should have to pave the way. Shoot, that ain't fair. Because legacy admissions works as if like they have different type of admissions, man. They got the legacy. They got the, like you said before, G, like the recommendation. Like if I knew you, G, right? If I knew you, like, because you went to Columbia and my kid was trying to get into Columbia, you could recommend my kid. I know you mentioned that before. But like stuff like that. If you know Elon Musk, for example, like they say they don't like Elon Musk, but they respect his geniusness. So if Elon Musk recommended me to go to Stanford, I'm going to get into Stanford over everybody else. And then G said, you can be smart and a person of color. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you can be smart and a person of color. You can have the merit to get into a school. That's what I mean, not just because of DEI. Okay. Because, yeah, I don't even know how do you even fit into the, I know this might sound ignorant or naive because I took DEI classes, but in this case, we're talking about DEI and admissions. How do you even qualify to be in DEI? Does it just go by like your see? We know it's a see. Look, that's why we need somebody to come on who did admissions, who has dealt with the DEI process of admissions and all that jazz, because that would help put a lot of like, okay, like it'll put that on there. DEI isn't just race, is what I am saying. It's not. It factors into the academics. It factors into the whatever else they add into it. But definitely is race, academic, at least in higher education, with the way I'm looking at higher education. I can't speak for outside of higher education. It factors into academics and race for sure. Race is just another marker, right? Because I know, like, for example, I do got an example, G. I got an example. I appreciate the conversation too. It's more to talk about, but we ain't gonna, we're gonna hit the interesting stuff. And so, because it's all part of this. This is all part of this topic in admission. So don't feel like we not talking about things, G. Like, this is all part of it. This is all part of it. So, like, I remember my brother, he was talking about when he was doing his physical therapy, right? And they had a class discussion about it. And students felt that it wasn't fair that some students can score lower and still get into the physical therapy program. They didn't like that. And so, just like that, that was the idea of it. And so, I'll be honest with you. I didn't like that in a way. Unpopular opinion, G. AG, unpopular opinion. I don't like that they set the bar low. I don't like that we set the bar lower for ourselves. Now, I get that a kid can have more tutoring, a better chance, at like a better tutor, better this and that, and they can score high naturally because they had the access, they had the resources, right? And then you have a kid who don't have the resources and they're doing the best they can with the score they got. So I get it. I get it on all perspectives. I do. I really do. As a person who didn't have the resources, I get it. Like, I very much get it. I feel like I do. But at the same time, it's like you should just keep it at the same time though. I would say overall, if you do need the extra help and you don't have, like, you can't afford a tutor, your parents can't afford a tutor, for example, and you're not scoring high on this test because you didn't know to get a tutor, or you didn't know that you had to get a tutor to compete with these kids who have tutors helping them. They're studying like every day after class. The only tutor you getting is the tutor in the school, but you might be at a school that don't have, it's an under deserved school. So G been typing, so I gotta give G the spotlight. G said, and it plays the role in the person you are not, and it plays a role in the person you are, and therefore you, and for what you bring to the campus. I know a lot of this I get from my admissions officer from my area when I got into the Columbia. I don't think they do that. They balance chances by looking at you holistically. For instance, Columbia isn't accepting anybody, but not having all A's. But not having all A's is perfectly fine. That's dope. You don't have to have all A's to get into Columbia. And then G said, I think I said before, at least at schools like Columbia, they compare you to your peers. Yeah, you did say that, G. And I've been telling that story a lot. Like I said, I be talking about you, G. Because I be like, look, I don't know how true it is. This is what I say every time. I say, I don't know how true it is. But I have a person on my live screen. People who come from schools like yours. Right. I said, look, I got this person on my live screen. I don't know how true it is. They went to Columbia. Because we talk about higher education. I don't know how true it is. But they said like the school is gonna compare you, like if you went to a Title I school, you're getting compared against kids who went to Title I schools with you. You're not being compared to kids who went to private schools. And they eyes opened up like, oh, I did not know that. I was like, I don't know how true it is. You just gotta apply. Like, you really want your kid to go to an Ivy League, and it's like so resourceful, Like, that's something like, G, like I just want to say first and foremost, G, take a second to be like, I appreciate that a lot, G. First and foremost. because that's life-changing information, G. That if this channel does go astronomical places with subscribers or whatever, like having you here and many other people who have information like that is game changing. They can get it for free. They don't have to like get it from, they don't have to pay for that. That's life changing information for a kid who thought they wasn't smart enough to get into a school to be like, oh, I have a chance, It's hope. Because a lot of people need hope right now. A lot of people are very pessimistic with everything going on right now. And that's hope. So I just want to tell you, G, I appreciate that. That's real information that I appreciate. That keeps me going because it shows, for one, I never did think I knew everything. I'm not a person that think I know everything. But it lets me know, man, I haven't even touched probably 5% of the information that's out there in life. And I probably will never hit 100%, or if it's higher than 100%. So I did go to a Title I district. I did go to a Title I district most of my life though. So G said some more things before we jump back in. This is all related to admissions, guys. Keep that in mind. So G said all right here. She said coming from I think Mississippi was probably, I think it went away. What? They took it away, G? Wow, I was just reading that. Coming from Mississippi, I think it said MS. But G said, I don't know if the Title I metrics are what they use, but the idea is the same. I did go to the Title I district my whole life. Well, most people don't know, especially when you from places of low income. Yeah. And don't take that for granted, man. We can't take that for granted. So that's on the whitehouse.gov, right? They have all this. It's not that long. And then right here it says advancing reforms in higher education. President Trump is holding elite universities accountable, ensuring they prioritize fairness, merit, and American values. So just like now, in January 2025, President Trump signed an executive order to end the discriminatory and illegal DEI preferences in higher education. In June 2025, President Trump signed a proclamation. I believe it's proclamation. Lord, they're going to get me. They're going to get me out. The independence.
Proclamation.
Yeah, I did say that right. Just making sure. The proclamation. President Trump signed a proclamation to safeguard national security by suspending the entry of foreign nationals seeking to study or participate in exchange programs at Harvard University. In July 2025, the administration successfully negotiated a resolution with the University of Pennsylvania, UPenn, to keep men out of women's sports. That has nothing to do with it has something to do with higher education, but that shouldn't be highlighted as like education. That's sports related, but it's all here. In July 2025, President Trump secured settlements with Columbia University and Brown University that include agreements that the universities will provide access to all relevant data and information to rigorously assess compliance with their commitments to merit-based hiring and admissions. And they're going to do it. Merit-based hiring and admissions. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Because if they don't, the school will get penalized and you lose your job. So people getting laid off is like bloodshed. It's like bloodshed. I know G said, I think 2 days ago, a day ago, it's like making people realize what's going on. The way I see it, it's like bloodshed. It's like, how many of your people do you want to keep getting fired, not having jobs? How many of them do you want to not have a job? Keep searching for jobs. Right now, if you were smart, you would leave your university. If you are a staff member, this is not dealing with students. Students, if you were smart, you would definitely start at 2 years till all this blow over, because you have 100% open admission. That's my advice to students. Go to schools right now that's affordable and have an open admission policy. 2-year colleges. Let this blow over. Again, if you are a professional that working in higher education, be strategic. It's a reason why, you know, some other factors, but it's a reason why I skedoodle out my job. It's a lot of people that still got their job, but it's a lot of people who don't got their job. And so pay attention. Pay attention. That's all I can say. Pay attention. So as we keep going, but nah, hit the main things. Linda McMahon, I quote her, Education Secretary Linda McMahon said, "We will not allow institutions to blight the dreams of students by presuming that their skin color matters." That is, I quote. Oh, my bad. It's more. We will not allow institutions to blight the dreams of students by presuming that their skin color matters more than their hard work and accomplishments. I quote Education Secretary Linda McMahon said in a statement. The Trump administration is threatening penalties for inaccurate reporting. The Education Department promised a rigorous audit process. I just said that. Trump memo orders remedial action against colleges that don't submit accurate data on time. And then another one. They are going to keep hammering this idea that schools are somehow violating the law despite a lack of evidence. Jonathan S. Van Smith, Senior Vice President for Government Relations and National Engagement at the American Council on Education, told the Daily Briefing. Guys, you need to know about ACE, because ACE, they can fight for you, hopefully. Actually, before all of this going on, and G said something before we go into our last segment. Our last segment is like a freestyle too. G said, Ashley, before all of this going on, some more before that. And then G said, this talking point has been around a while. It has been, and many people are not paying attention. They're just going to college. You know, parents and students, they're just going to college, or they don't care, which is fair, but they're not even aware what's going on. Like, the main reason I talk about these things is because, give me some preface, G, is like kids get mentally ill or they go into a dark place when they don't get into a certain school. You know, they get down about it. And you have to know it's a little naive, if you ask me, to not know why you didn't get into a school when it personally wasn't you. It's just all these constant changes going around right now. Like, imagine you know, like, let me just an example, right, G? Like how you just talked about all the DEI. Imagine like all that was in place, but your school wasn't really, like, your guidance counselor, whoever, wasn't really following everything, and they told you like, yeah, you'll get it. Not you'll get in, but they're like, you have a better chance of getting in, blah, 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 because of these things we have in place to support you. They have these things in place to support you. But if you wasn't paying attention really, they like, look, it's merit-based. This upcoming, I don't know if it was this upcoming fall 2025, but no, it's merit-based. And the student didn't even get in. Like, you know, they go to, you know, it's another reason to remind them, like, look, changes going on. Like, students not getting in because the admissions is going through a whole nother process. They probably don't even have a process yet because they're trying to figure out how to even do this. It's just crazy, right? It sounds jumbled. It is jumbled up, actually. I probably, if I could ask anybody in admission, they couldn't give me a straight answer. But kids they get sad when they don't get into their dream school. Even though their dream school might put them in $300K debt, they get a little upset. The fact that you're racking up $150,000 in undergraduate, and then you say, oh yeah, I plan on going to medical school or law school. Whew. Yeah, you're gonna be working unless you just be a bit time. Cause even the guy, I always go back to this movie because the guy, Michael, I think his name Michael Blurry, he was the one that did the Big Short. He was the one that actually did it first. That man said he had so much medical debt at the time, it wasn't funny. That's why he got into the stocks, I think, because it was making him money. And so G said, right here, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a study. Oh, actually, before that, G said, actually, before all of this was going on, specifically with Asians, is where it initially started from a legal standpoint. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a study that with white women benefited the most from affirmative action. Why? Yeah, there was an argument about that African Americans didn't even benefit from it that much. But that's interesting. And then G said, but that was a while ago. And then G said, dream school doesn't matter if it ain't Ivy. Unpopular opinion, LOL. Dream schools do matter for some kids. I don't think a dream school matter either. I think that's a I don't know where that comes from. That's something I would chat GPT. I don't know where a dream school. Oh, this is my dream school. I don't know how you can have a dream school. Like, if it's a dream school, I just go to the school. Like, I don't got to be a student to go to your school and to enjoy the on-campus things. I doubt you're going to this school because you heard of this professor. I doubt you're going to this college because of the classroom being very like accommodating. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you did a campus tour, G, did they show you the classroom? Just an easy question. Because you've seen it on the internet, that's why LOL. G, I have a good question. When you did your campus tours, did they show you the classroom? I'm really about to get kind of like, did they show you the classroom? I had a friend who denied Harvard to go to her dream school, which was Yale. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Because I'm about to say, I know they do all these campus tours, but I wonder, do they show you the classrooms? Because I'm like, who cares about the classroom? Unpopular opinion. But the classroom do matter. I know for a fact, like, I remember one time Georgia Tech students do classrooms in the basement. You want to talk about being humble? And when I did fly-ins, I got to experience like a student. That's dope. That's dope. That mean they took care of you because you didn't say nothing about it being a bad experience. So that's good. They took care of you. Um, yeah. And fun fact, Georgia Tech students take classes in the basement though. When I went to Washington University in St. Louis, we sat in it. We sat in on a class. That's dope. I would have looked forward to that. I never seen a college class until I was in one. Probably would have made it more better for me, like a mock class. Yeah, probably would have made it better for me. So, okay, that's notes right there. It's a little more. So, right here, will this reinforce wealthy applicants' advantages? So, we're still on the same topic, guys. About don't be upset if you don't get admitted about the admissions. Will this reinforce wealthy applicants' disadvantages? Yeah, Georgia Tech students don't care, man. It be nicely structured, but they literally take classes and they take class in the basement because that's part of the history, which is pretty cool. Because before the school became what it was, you know, a lot of schools. So fun fact, a lot of colleges before they had the buildings they have today. Um, that's one thing I like about the graduate program. They taught us some history. Before schools, like schools used to take place in churches, like a church. Schools used to take place in basements. That's why they still have the basement classrooms. Some classes used to take place in, we know, church, we know, basements. Class used to take place in, you know, like spots. Sometimes outside if that's all they had. And other cultures like Native Americans, for example, they still have classes like because they don't have enough resources to go to school. Native Americans because they refuse to deal with Americans. Native Americans take classes in like the store, like in the back of the store. So I'm smiling because like if you think about how stores are set up and how they have slot machines in there sometimes or gambling whatever. I just know I heard about that, right? And you think about like it's kind of the same thing because the Native Americans there'll be a store and then on the other side of the store, right, they're having class. So it's kind of like Native Americans, they still to this day, they don't even have like they have class and schooling, but it's not like how we have school and like classrooms, buildings, you know. And so it's kind of interesting to think about because yeah. And G said, LOL, I promise indigenous people also have real schools. They do. Like I said before, I don't know if you had heard me, G. Dartmouth, I think it's Dartmouth University. That's how you say it, which is an Ivy, I think. Dartmouth University, if I said it right, they were actually, that school, what is it? Dartmouth College. I thought it was Dartmouth University. Dartmouth College is was actually founded as a it was intended for Native American students at first. Dartmouth. Even though it's an Ivy League, it was intended for Native Americans, but it eventually was taken over and became like a, you know, majority, I believe, white demographic college, even though it's Ivy. That's based on the history. Because if I ask, I think if I asked Google. Let me see. Google, who was Dartmouth College created for? So somebody named Easler Willock, I might say this wrong, a congressional minister from Connecticut, founded Dartmouth College in 1769 and served as its first president. That ain't what I asked. Oh, was Dartmouth founded for Native Americans? Yep. So in 1769, Dartmouth College was founded for the purpose of providing a Christian and liberal arts education to Native Americans. So I'm gonna give a little history context, and you probably know this, G. So that's pretty cool. I knew Willock just didn't trust his intentions. I read the same thing. Yeah. So the whole purpose of this, giving a little history lesson, is pretty cool. So Dartmouth College, the reason they created this college because Native Americans, remember, Native Americans had the land. Now they probably don't want to hear this. Native Americans had the land, right? And we were trying to get the land. So in order to get the Native Americans, we exchanged a deal. Everybody should know this. Everybody should know this, right, G? But Native Americans, right, had the land. The colonizers, right, they were trying to get the deal done, essentially, in short form answer, trying to get a deal done. And then when it was hard to, what's that word? It was hard to communicate because Native Americans spoke another language and they were considered like cavemen pretty much compared to the colonizers who was already like trying to advance the world. Like that's where it kind of leads into the Industrial Revolution. Like, because Native Americans were like fishing, they were, you know, skinning their clothes, you know, doing everything like cavemen like. And then, yeah, we struck deals until we continued to break them, LOL. Exactly. And so one of the ways to get the Native Americans to buy in was like, look, we will provide you with education, we will provide you with our religion, we will provide you like assimilation. That leads into the assimilation. Because if you learned about the guy, he was Native American, he was in the Olympics. Yeah, caveman, I'm just using that example because compared to the colonizer, they were like more perceived as more like advanced and stuff. So like, and they perceived the Native Americans as if they were like, blah, 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 blah. That's how they may seem. But so they said, look, we'll provide you with education, we'll provide you with our religion, assimilate them, because that's where it leads into the guy. I forgot his name. He's a Native American. It leads into, and I gotta get his name because it's gonna drive me crazy if I don't say it on the live screen. Native American who participated in the Olympics. What's his name? Jim Thorpe. That's his name. Because Jim Thorpe was very like, I don't know if people know that. Jim Thorpe was that guy. But Jim Thorpe was like part of that example because you think he was born in 1887 and then he died in 1953. And so that led into that era of like, yeah. So they were assimilating the Native Americans. And so when they assimilated Native Americans, books on it and everything. And I actually thought about getting one of them. So yeah. That's how I always remember Dartmouth College. Many people don't know that, of course. That's like, except for people like G, because G is like a G making me feel like a nerd. Cause G, the fact that G know that, I'm like, but so but I am a little nerdy. So G said indigenous people were advanced in how they lived their lives and organized their civilizations. For real, exactly. They just were not as industrialized or armed. Exactly. They didn't have the guns. They didn't have, all this machinery. Everything they did. What you trying to say, LOL? Not you calling me a nerd. You calling me a nerd, G? You calling me a nerd? Are we going back and forth about nerds? We both nerds. It's okay. Hey, I like it. We had a good life, right, G? We live a good life as a nerd. Nerds live good lives. And so, but G also says specifically against disease or weapons. What you trying to say, LOL? Not calling you. I believe you more nerdy than me, LOL. A little bit. So I always like to mention that because it lets me know, like, okay, I'm on the right track. But you see how this all just led back, like, boom, 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 and how we got on that spiel? Because we talking about, will this reinforce wealthy applicants' advantages? The Brown and Columbia deals were already prompting speculation that institutions might feel pressure to rely more heavily on test scores and grades when admitting students. The New York Times reported. Critics worry such an emphasis could come out. Now, G, let me know how you feel about this. So I'm going to say this part right here. I'm going to put this. So the New York Times reported this part. Or the New York Times, I believe, reported all of this. That's the source. And then I'm going to show you this too, G. Because I already know what you're going to say. So, oh, wow, what's the word? Oh, about that period. Send that. You don't need that period. So, right here, they're saying, like, critics worry such an emphasis could come at the cost of low and middle income students, because wealthy families typically spend more on tutoring and other services that bluster those qualifications. And we were just talking about that, right? And that's true. It's gonna be people who don't have what the wealthy have, and that's what we talk about all the time. G, resources, right? G, that's exactly what we talk about. Resources. And so, yeah, you're going to see one of my peers actually said that. One of my law friends actually said that. He said that it's going to get to a point. I didn't disagree with him. I said, you got an idea? You going in the right direction. Because, me, I look at it's not going to look good for higher education. He was looking at like, look, the wealthy is going to be to a point where, because I believe higher education is going to get so expensive. And then right there, if you take out that process and you do have wealthy that only has access to certain resources, then because he said that you're only going to have wealthy individuals going to college. Then you're going to have a problem with the middle and low income because they can't go to college, which is why speaking on behalf comes in. Why you should start at a 2-year and bridge to a 4-year. Because if a school don't want to accept you guys, I'd rather you have an education than no education. If one school don't want you, you go to another. It's too many schools. But then we do speculate some schools are going to close down, which is going to make that harder for you to go to certain schools. If schools really start closing down, that's going to be a problem. But this is all theory right now until it really happens. So G said, well, that is what I was saying about a Ville. They don't really care. They just pretend they do. Yeah. And so that's pretty. So I'm gonna do the bigger picture, G. The bigger picture by College Education. They said in an alternate timeline, pretty much in another timeline, college access advocates might cheer the collection and release of information like this, which could shed light on policies and practice that improve equity across racial and income gaps. In today's low trust environment, the data could very well fuel culture wars over whether selective colleges can consider anything other than numbers on a page when they evaluate who merits admission. Did that make sense? Did I read that right, G? I'm putting that in chat just in case. Put that in chat. Put that in chat. And then merit. So yeah, they're saying like in another world, college access advocates might cheer the collection and release of information like this. Like, hey, yeah, it's good policies, practice, because admissions already admissions is already, like they said, low trust environment. People don't respect college admissions. People don't even trust like admissions and all that, because they be like, why they be asking like, why my kid didn't get in. It is a good question, but it's like, we can't tell you that. Can't tell you why you didn't get in. And then not holistic simply doesn't work. Not holistic simply doesn't work in the current world. Let me read that. Not holistic simply doesn't work in the current world where access to resource differs so much. Yeah. Access to resources. Oh my goodness. So, which leads into our last one. I don't really think it's going to be that long. It depends how this goes, G. This is a freestyle right here. Freestyle Friday on this one. I usually keep a freestyle one in there so it's not so structured. I said education is the light. Now, why did I say that? I said that because I was writing so fast. I said college creates a brightness no one can see. It sounded good in my head. And then I said, yeah, college creates a brightness no one can see. And I said, and I thought about it, and I said, college creates a brightness no one can see. Because then I said, you can't look directly at the sun. And then you might say, what am I talking about? And I'm like, it's just so much lack of higher education. It's a lack of college, right? People are not proud about, besides us, right? Hopefully we get more people. People are not proud that they go to college. People don't feel like college is worth it. What made me think of that, I was looking at the data on iPads. I should have put the link in there. I wish I could show you, but sounds sweet, LOL, until you think too much about it. Yeah, you can hurt your eyes. Like, it was higher education is down right now as a whole. Not 2-year, not 4-year. Higher education is down as a whole. Like, people are not going to college. Like, it's down. Not bad, but the highest, it was like 26, I think. I was looking at enrollment, like people enrolling. I think it was like 26 million. Probably 26 billion. 26 million, a billion. Not very. Don't fact check me on it, but it's definitely like it was a 26 at all time highs, I believe, and it dropped to like 24 right now. I think it was higher than that. So the numbers are probably not accurate, but I know 24 is the lowest right now as people going to colleges. But the all-time highs were very high. It was very high at one point back in the day, which is funny because that's when college was more affordable. When like back in 2005 and 6 and all that, it was more affordable then. And now it's expensive, so less people are enrolling. But like I said, I think people are choosing the wrong college. That's been my big deal. People are going to schools for the wrong reason. people are going to college for the wrong reason. People literally like on niche, like what's it called, niche. I think niche literally has it like party school or something. And so that's the conversation. That's the conversation they talk about. And I know. I just really feel like people choose the wrong schools that's supposed to be for them. I feel like everybody can't go Ivy, you know? Everybody can't go university. Everybody can go 2 year. Sometimes you have to go 4 year. Sometimes you have to go 2 year. Sometimes you have to go Ivy. It's, what's the best situation for you? And people don't factor that in. So G said, I'm going to push back. I'm going to put some emphasis on this. People are starting to realize that the alternative may look more appetizing. And in all honesty, I feel like people are starting to only realize, use it as a stepping stone. At the end of the day, for a lot of people, it's about money. I even say most people. I had to put some emphasis on that. Who you with? G? Who you with? G? So G said people are realizing that it's a stepping stone. If people are realizing it's a stepping stone, I'm gonna get you, G. If people are realizing it's a stepping stone, why are people going to expensive colleges then, G? Why people just don't do the traditional, start at a 2 year, bridge to a 4 year, and chuck it up as a win? Or, or pick affordable colleges that's in their budget. And G said, and the bots go to college because the bots go to college because what else to do? But yeah, that's why I asked that, G. If people know college is a stepping stone, people know college ain't really worth it, why are people spending hundreds of six figures and all that to go to college? The stigma, like we said the other day. What's stigma? What's the stigma? Or pressure? What's the stigma of pressure? From the world and family. Yeah. That's why we got to bring it back to the channel. It's scary. I'll say that. Oh, yeah. Let me give you some. Hold on, G. Let me give you the hundreds. It's scary that it's hard standing up to your parents. When you said family, G, it's hard standing up to your family, man. Because telling my mom, telling my mom I wanted to go to college when she probably wanted me to go workforce, make money, was like, you really have that authoritative power to the stigma against 2 years as well. Oh, on that side. Okay, flip the script on what I'm saying then. The stigma against 2 years as well is very much, come to this channel and we'll tell you what a 2 year could do for you. As you see, we got our banners up here and our championships. Now, I did not buy a ring for every college I did complete. I had me like 3 rings right now. I should have did that. But, what, I have 3 rings? Oh, I have 4 rings. I have 4. Ooh, I'd be like, I have 4 rings. The stigma on 2 years, that's why education is the light, man. Like, the stigma on 2 years it won't go away. I don't think none of this will go away. Now we could see a reverse. I don't know how it would look. Do you think, G, there would be a reverse on like college being free one day? Do you think that would happen again? College being free? For better or for worse. So I did my own thing regardless. 15 is crazy though. You did your own thing at 15 for better or worse. That's crazy. But what you asking like for better or worse, like making college free? Because making college free, I feel like I don't know who that's gonna hit, as in taxpayers or the whole nine. But would college be free? I have no idea. Yeah, I don't want free college. I want cheaper college. Okay. Cheaper college is very possible. Cheaper college is very possible. And so, and guys, get your education, man. I ain't trying to be no person that lecture all day about that. Get your education. Because getting your education unlocks a lot of things in your mind that you didn't know. LOL, we got 36 trillion in debt. That's what the billionaires at. What the billionaires at? All these billionaires with 400 billion and da da da. Man, they can pay that off. And we can restart. We clearly don't care about the cost. We don't. That's what I'm saying. We don't care about the cost. Nobody is punishing none of the college students for it. If you're not going to punish, if the college students are not going to get punished for where they go to school, how much money they taking out, why would I listen at this point? We only care about the cost when it's convenient. When it's convenient. So once we start putting some more like, once again, structure and governance, I'm saying college could be free because of that. So can healthcare. Oh Lord, not the healthcare. Gee, I think I'm a little jaded on that one with healthcare. I don't think healthcare will ever be free. At least not in my lifetime. Big jaded on that. I'm big jaded on that. You to get me unjaded on that, it'll take a miracle. Trump did all that taking and still added to the debt. Oh, talking. All that talking is still. Yeah. But guys, I do want besides G, I know what I'm saying, guys. Him bit jaded, yeah. Cause guys, the education though, it is like, man, I just like it changes you, man. When you actually read books, like I really encourage you, like pick up a book that you're interested in. Don't pick up a book you ain't interested in. Pick up a book you're interested in. Because you just think differently. And you could tell people who don't read. You could tell people who really don't read. I really do feel that way, G. When you have the education, like that's part of the light. You have the light to see, like, you think I'm finna engage with you. You want me to engage with you. You need to do some, like, you need to do some thinking or something. Like, reading, I don't know, reading for me brings me peace. It brings me calmness. Like, and it adds patience. Reading definitely tests my patience. Most people don't read nowadays. Do you think that's bad that most people don't read nowadays, G? I feel like it is. I feel like it really is. Like, I'm thinking about just buying a whole bunch of books because for some reason in my heart, I feel like books gonna be worth millions of dollars in the future. My cousins tend to disappoint me at times because they don't read simple things like directions. Yes, I used to say that all the time when I worked at my 2-year college, or even when I'm driving on, like, around. But definitely at my 2-year college, I used to be like, we got signs hanging up in the hallways. My 2-year college wasn't that big, but I'd be like, we have signs hanging up in the hallways. And G said, and ask me, and I'm like, if you took 2 seconds to read, and they don't like to hear that. If you just took 2 seconds or 1 second to read, it'll tell you everything you need to know. Everything. 2 seconds to read. That's it. So that's all I want to say about that. On the education is like, cause. So yes, it's horrible. People don't read. It's horrible. Okay, I want to make sure I wasn't tripping because I know some people say I'll be overdoing the social media thing. because I'm a big anti-social media person. Like, I have it for the business, of course, but honestly, if it wasn't for like doing the business, you probably would have never heard of me, G. To be honest with you, because I don't be on social media. And G said, and it's getting worse. Yep, yep. That's how I know I forever will have a job, because as long as the younger generation not reading, I have a chance and a job for eternity, as I'm here on Earth. So I ain't anti I ain't anti social media. I am pushback. She said pushback. I am G. Get off there. Stop scrolling. You have no reason, well, unless you doing it for your business, you have no reason to be on social media. LOL, you do have a chance, LOL. Social media, the only social media you need is YouTube. That's the only social media you need. That's the only social media you need, G. That's the only social media. Education is light. That's all the social media I need. I actually don't use it. That's good. That's good. That's good. People think I be exaggerating about social media, but wait till the day. The irony of my position. That is crazy. What you mean the irony of the irony? Now I'm giving you. Hold up. Hold up. Now I'm giving you pushback. The irony of my position. What you mean, G? What you mean? See what G say. So before this, because we're gonna do our last thing, we're gonna do our review of a college. Where is the YG is typing? LOL, it's ironic that I don't use it, but I don't disagree with its existence. That is irony. Yeah, okay. As you can see, when you said irony, I was like, irony. Now you just helped me know something. When you said irony, it made me think of ironic now. You just helped me out right there when you did that. Now I'm gonna keep that in mind. I recognize what it has done for society, in a good way or bad way. Or both. You might say both. Good and bad. I knew you was gonna say it. I think I spelled it. Yeah, I did. It's hard though. I think they know what I mean. Bowling green. Ew. And I would have still overwhelmingly done more good. Yeah. Because you have the education. You have the education to know what to use it for and to benefit from it. Most people don't have the education to know like what you can benefit from. Because of how it's connected people and ideas and more and help people find community. Yeah, it has. Because now we're building a community, right? Because I just love talking about higher education. Really, real deal. I just like talking about it. Like, it's something I can just talk about. I don't know. It's weird. One of those weird traits to have. We found each other, right? LOL. Yeah. YouTube. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I was on here talking about myself most of the time, just trying to, which couldn't happen without social media or chance. Yeah. YouTube would have did enough. YouTube would have helped out just enough. See, because I'm not on social media, you would have never found me on social media. You probably LinkedIn, But yeah, and it's dope. It's dope, and I would say that was a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. How about I got another school that we're finna review, and it's all right, let's do another school. I don't want to do that school. I don't know. This school is trash. I'm serious. I really don't use it either, LOL. No, I can tell you don't use it. I can tell. I can tell people you haven't used trendy words, G. My friends have found me weird for years. Now I can tell you didn't use it because G, I know you didn't use it because you're not using. So one of my key things when I find people, they probably won't see this video, so they'll probably catch our recent live streams. But you can tell people use social media by the way they use trendy words. Trendy words. They use trendy words. Oh yeah, we can do this, school. We're gonna do Bowling Green State University, G. Bowling Green. Imagine having a school called Bowling Green State University and the school is not green. Like roasting them hard a little bit right there. Roasting. Like the school can never talk smack when they're going against their rivalry because it's like, was that trendy enough? What was trendy enough? What you said, G? Skeety bitty toilet. That's not trendy. Is that trendy? That's not trendy. LOL, green only in the name. LOL. That's not trendy. Skitty bitty toilet. That's trendy. That's not trendy. What's trendy about that? It's a toilet. A commode. That's not trendy. That's not trendy. It's not nice, G. It's not nice. Yeah, it is for the young people. Well, I guess I told you it's getting worse. I was like, I don't even know what a skinny bitty toilet is. It was extremely popular, LOL. Was it really? Was it really, man? Like, look it up. I'm not looking it up because then I'm gonna be like, no, I don't even know what they were doing. It's something with a toilet though. Skitty bitty toilet. What? What are y'all doing? What? I tell my peers, G, we shouldn't be talking like this. We should be talking like this when we're 40 or 50. We shouldn't be talking like this in our 20s. That's how bad it is. Usually people say, these kids don't know nothing, and they in their 40s or 50s, or 50s and 60s. We're in our 20s, and we're saying, hold on, the generation right behind us is not making sense. Or in the generation with us, they're not making sense. I told you it is bad. It is terrible. 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 Why do they have cohort rates? What is going on? Oh, they got some cohorts going on. So I'm going to their tuition. All right, let's rock out. So Bowling Green State University, they have about 12,255 undergraduate students. And then G right here says something. We will come back to that, G. Yeah, I'm going to come to that. Bowling Green they're a 4-year, they're public, they're a town, I guess small, medium, but they're in Bowling Green, Ohio. So Bowling Green has a graduation rate of 65%. It's slightly over the midway point for 4-year colleges. It's slightly over the 58%. The average annual cost to go to Bowling Green is $21,000, guys. That's pretty pricey. It's $21,000. So let's fact check that. Let's fact check their prices. Right here it says undergraduate between 12 to 18 credit hours. You got the instructional fee. I don't know. You got the general fee. You got the total Ohio resident. I guess, yeah. And so you looking at right now, they're saying is this for a semester or this for the year? I have no idea. They didn't specify. But I doubt a school is paying $5,000 for the whole year. And you're a university. So general fee, it says I'm in campus, blah 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 blah. Usually have it in here, but they're not specifying. I know a few famous people that went there. Huh. Interesting. So if you're on the main campus right now, guys, I'm assuming they're saying like your total price is going to be $5,727 for tuition alone. That's how much you're looking at. Where's my calculator? Where's my calculator? So that's how much you're looking at right now. So let's do, I'm gonna do 5,800. It's pretty much 5,800. I'm gonna do 5,800. Oh, Richard from Grey's Anatomy went to Bowling Green State University. So 5,800 times 2 is 11,600. So if we include, let's look up their housing. I feel like finding their housing because they said this school is like $20,000, $21,000 a year, annual year. So I want to see what their housing is like. So I need to make another tab right quick. No, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy. I do not. I can that it's too long. I heard it's very long to G while I find the housing rates. I heard it was very long. Like very long. Housing rates. So yep, housing and meal plan rates. Always gotta go find it. Is it crazy that I always gotta go find this stuff? Open the tab, open the tab. They got the housing and meal plan rates separate. It was one of, if not the longest running ABC show, LOL. Man, like, that show is so long. I wouldn't even want to get into it because it's so long. Like, I just know, like, at least 2 years of my life is probably going to be gone. I can't afford that right now. So, the housing rates per semester, they put that on that one. So the housing rates per semester is, they keep saying cohort. I don't know why they keep saying cohort. So I guess cohort. Yeah, at this point it's too late, LOL. Cause the cohort, right? They keep saying cohort. Are they just now offering housing for the first time? Cause cohort is when you're running like a test run. But guys, oh, they housing is expensive. For a single room, a triple room is running you easily $3,000. A super single room is $4,900. So on the low end, guys, I'm gonna say you're gonna pay 30. I'm gonna just say 3,000. That's per semester, and that's for the upcoming school year, Bowling Green. And then you can do a custom meal plan. We just trying to get a rate of the meal plan, guys. Y'all are really like, all right, let's do retail plans. They got retail plans. So they're not even displaying the prices of their meal plans. Wowza. Let me see if I can find my meal plan rates right here. It says find your meal plan rates. Let's see. I had to go through like 4 links just to get to the meal plan. It's crazy. And it's at the bottom. So your cost of a meal plan on the low end is per semester. 800 per semester. So look, you're looking at per semester. How you get 2,000? Oh, I forget this. It's gonna cost you $21.67. So if you run out of swipes, you get 87 swipes. If you run out of 87 swipes, you got to pay another $800, I guess. But right here, the cost is going to cost you $21.67 per semester. Is that per semester? Oh, that's for the school year. Yeah. So that's for the school year, $21.67. So you got housing that's going to cost you, let's add on to this for the year. So housing is first and foremost $5,800. So $5,800, and I say on the low end, your housing is gonna be $3,000 plus I should have split that. Let's do this. So right now we're at 3 times 3 is 9. And then I said 3,000. 3 plus 3 is 6. So plus 6, that's 15,000 you're at right now. Perfect. So 15,000 total, that's for the school year, plus 2,200. 2,200 plus 2,200 is 4,400. Yeah. So plus 44. Yeah, it's close. On the low end, you're paying 19,400 for a school year. On the low end. On the low end. But they said on the college scorecard, you're looking at 21,000, pretty much rounded. So it's not far off. And most of the time, you're not going to get the lowest dormitory. You're not, because everybody wants that. And 9 times out of 10, you might not even get the lowest meal swipe because everybody wants that. So you're looking at, So let's keep going. The earnings that you're going to get after going here for these years, remember, as I like to do, guys, they're saying you can earn potentially, after being 10 years removed from the school, you can earn about $48,000 a year. And so that $48,000 a year is based on you being removed from the school, for 10 years. Now, this is based on students who are financial aid students. Now, I'm pretty sure it's financial aid students making over 48,000, but that's what they're saying. In 10 years, you can make over that, or you can make it under that. But that is not even at the for a 4-year college return on investment. That is not even at the midpoint. That's below the midpoint, which is not good. Because if you're paying $19,400 for 1 year of school times 4, remember, if you graduate in 4 years, you're looking at $77,600 to go to this school. Crazy work, kid. We talked about the cost, and then graduation and retention rate. We already said the graduation rate is 65%. But students who return after their first year is a C average. Graduation rate is an F, 65%. Graduation rate was a C, 79%. Financial aid and debt. 56% of their students, I bet, are receiving. They said 56% of their students are receiving federal loans. I bet. And they said that 25,000 of the students have an average debt of $25,000 after going here, which makes sense because, like I said, your first year is about 20-something. It's about 20,000 pretty much. So the extra 5,000, ain't no telling where that come from. That might come from books, other miscellaneous. So you do the math. If you start from the beginning, your first year, reckon in 25K of debt. I just know this 25 times 5. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say 25,000 times 4. That's like $100,000 you're gonna be in student loan debt easily. That's not even factoring if you go to law school, med school, or any type of graduate school afterwards. Just saying, FYI, keep that in mind. Ooh. And then right here, you have a 70% chance of making more than a high school graduate. That'll make sense later. And then test scores. They have an 81% acceptance rate, I bet. As G would say, because who wants to go there? No, G would say something else. G would probably say, yeah, they have an 81% because they have an 81% acceptance rate because now you'll say, it's something that you said yesterday or 2 days ago. G, it was funny. You'll say it right now probably. But they have an 81% acceptance rate. Very high. They might as well be open admissions at that point. They might as well be 100%. The school considers SAT and ACT during the application process, but guess what? They don't require them. And students who are admitted to Bowling Green State University main campus enroll typically in these test score ranges, they say. But besides that, G said, I was going to let you do it, LOL. I forgot what you said. You said something 2 or 3 days ago. It was funny. Because I usually say they need students. They don't really consider the SAT or ACT because they need students. All colleges need students. But that's one thing about the merit base. The Trump administration trying to bring back merit based, like they need to take tests, have the SAT, ACT scores, but you got to realize people are not doing something they don't need to do. If you're going to punish me for, or if you're not going to accept me in your school because I didn't take the SAT or ACT, I'll go to another school. You know, like it's easy to go to another school. So now schools got to figure that out because ain't nobody about to take these. Like you gonna have people taking them who really want to get into the school, but the majority ain't gonna be taking them. If you ain't got to take them, if you ask me, it's just gonna hurt your chances if you know you ain't gonna do good. But let's keep going because I'm not an admissions person. But all I can say right now, it must suck to be working in admissions right now. So, or at a university at least. So yeah, they have a 81% acceptance rate, and they do not consider SAT, or ACT because they need students. I know they need students, but I think we all in metro and what they say in all respect, what that word metro respect, something like that. How they say it. In all, this school is a F. The school was an F from the jump. Honestly, I gave it a chance and just finished it out to hear and see them through. I don't know what they're known for exactly, but the return on investment at this school is terrible. Once again, if the school want to redeem themselves, cool, but you're paying a lot more money here than what you would get if you know, you're paying a lot more money than your return on investment gonna be. Like, G, have you heard of somebody like a regular person going here? Regular, not celebrity, regular. A regular person coming here and working somewhere big, I guess, making something of themselves going to this school, I guess. Like, I don't really think this is a, because they not justifying their prices to me, just that's it's a good question for a school that's an F, because Bowling Green. And G said nope, exactly. Because G gonna say if if he got a person or somebody, at least somebody, and this is in Ohio. If you're in Ohio, why would someone go? That's what you'll say. That's what you said. Why would someone go there? That's what you said. That's what you said. Put it on the shirt. Put it on the shirt, man. Why would you go there? Put it on the shirt. Why would you go there? Why would you go there? So that's all we got. I think we went over our 2 hour mark too. I think we did. Yeah, we did slightly. That's good. And so G said something before we go. I seen it in the beginning. G said, what did you say, G? I think I got retracted. LOL merch ideas, income LOL. Yeah, I ain't charging nobody for them, at least. I'm gonna wear it first. If people want them, I'll send them. Or I found a way to do that. That's a whole nother industry I would have to tap in one day. But definitely something to put on the shirt. Why did you go there? Yeah. So, all right, that's it. It's Friday. Go enjoy your family. If you got family, G, you hang with family, or peers. It's Friday. Don't work too hard. I know being a big entrepreneur like you probably have to work weekends and stuff. So don't work too hard, though. Always remember, 1 hour won't hurt. I get you got to work countless hours. Don't get me wrong. 1 hour doesn't hurt, you know. But G said what's more interesting is that I would say more of a world at the age than I would say the average person did 10 years ago. Oh, okay, you talking about that. But what's more interesting is that I would say that more of the world at their age than I would say the average person did 10 years ago. This is what I said at first. Have a good weekend. hmm Have a good weekend. And then G said, I was saying young people know more about the world now. Yeah, young people do know about the world. They know about the world, but they don't understand what we know. Then I'll say we did 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago, what? I was 16 10 years ago? That's crazy. 10 years ago, I was only 16. When I get 36, then I can say I was 26. But when I was 16, 10 years ago, I was 16. I was focused on sports. And I didn't have a plan of what I'm going to do when I graduate. I was thinking about it. I always been a futuristic thinker. I'll be honest with you. On the sidebar real quick before we go, G, I always been a person to think like years ahead. That's always been my deal for some reason. Like even freshman year, I was always like, I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. It had to be people I was around because even my freshman year, I was like, dang, am I gonna get recruited? Am I gonna go to college? Am I gonna play ball? How am I gonna make money? How am I gonna live on my own? How does this work? I was thinking all that stuff. G said, "Hello." I was actually pretty woke when I was 16, but the world was different then. I was ahead of my time. That's dope. That's dope. I wish I was like that. I'm glad to be the person I am. Don't get me wrong. Very love myself. I just wish I was more up to speed on that at the time. I didn't. Mine didn't kick in until like 20 or 21. Really. You were thinking about a lot of good things, I'd say. Yeah, but I wasn't thinking like those things. Like if I was thinking a little more, pushing a little more, I would have knew about that stock market. I just wish I would have knew about that stock market a little sooner. She said I was running it up too. Like what? Running it up as in with a question mark. Running it up in that way? I mean, we only have so much. That's what you're talking about though, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. But we out. Peace. I was walking ahead of my time. Man, you was not in no Bitcoin. All right, we're gonna end it there. Wait. G, peace, chicken grease. Peace, chicken grease. G said what? G said Bitcoin. That's all we're gonna say. Bitcoin. And we're gonna say that. Peace, chicken grease. Safe weekend. Bitcoin. Tell me some Bitcoin on here.